The only thing more unbelievable than Valve's human brain-powered gaming aspirations, the fact that a multi-billion-dollar megacorp just admitted it made a mistake. This is SVG News. Welcome to the future. Right before the weekend, Microsoft laid out some bad news. No, Halo Infinite hasn't been delayed again. It was far worse than that. Microsoft was hiking up Xbox Live Gold subscription prices. But in the face of instant backlash, the company backpedaled this decision so hard it also removed the stipulation that you need the subscription for free-to-play games. Which is good news, considering Halo Infinite's multiplayer will be free-to-play. Why did Microsoft reverse course so quickly? Would you believe the age-old adage, the customer is always right?
I think somebody's pulling my leg.
In a move nobody saw coming, Microsoft wrote an addendum to the blog post that broke the price increase news and stated quite plainly that the company had messed up. According to the article, the fan backlash to the initial decision was so swift and scathing, it convinced Microsoft that going through with the increase would be a bad business choice.
Yeah, you can say that again.
The updated blog post explained, connecting and playing with friends is a vital part of gaming, and we failed to meet the expectations of players who count on it every day. As a result, we have decided to not change Xbox Live Gold pricing. The article also implied that Microsoft needed to show a sign of good faith to, quote, bring Xbox Live more in line with how we see the player at the center of their experience, which is why the company is removing the Xbox Live Gold subscription gate for free-to-play titles. While Microsoft insists the change will take time, gamers will finally be able to play titles like Fortnite without paying money for Xbox Live Gold. Ever since console manufacturers introduced free-to-play titles to the menu, Xbox owners were left out of the fun. PlayStation 4 and Nintendo Switch owners could play these games without spending money on subscriptions. Meanwhile, Xbox players had to fork over cash for a subscription, which became a growing problem due to cross-play functionality. Thanks to the fan response and Microsoft's desire to reclaim some goodwill, this is no longer an issue. In the world of game development, remaining on the cutting edge of new technology is one of the highest priorities. With VR gaming becoming more widely available in recent years, developers have been working to make gaming experiences become more immersive than ever before. For instance, Activision has filed a patent for a type of haptic gun which would make VR combat feel even more realistic. Meanwhile, Valve has been toying with a concept that could take feedback directly from the human brain and apply it to create unbelievable virtual worlds. Now we know what you're thinking.
Next time you want to bull me, bull each other instead.
Nope, this is 100% legit. Though even the head of Valve knows how wild this concept sounds. In speaking with New Zealand's One News, Gabe Newell said, "A lot of our product design discussions sound like science fiction." Valve has been collaborating with OpenBCI, a company doing extensive work in the field of brain-computer interfaces, or BCIs. In late 2020, OpenBCI announced a device which is designed to take biometric feedback from the user. This data will show the emotional state of the player, allowing the developer to piggyback off of this information. As explained by One News, quote, "The readings can be used by developers to improve immersion and personalize what happens during games, like turning up the difficulty a bit if the system realizes the player is getting bored." Using BCIs, Valve hopes to craft some never-before-seen experiences for virtual reality gamers.
And Jesus wept, for there were no more worlds to conquer.
However, the most interesting thing about this technology, according to Newell, is that it can theoretically be used to plant information and experiences into the player's mind. In theory, this process, which Newell compared to the virtual world of the Matrix, could create more visceral emotional responses from the player. It could also help developers to realize virtual worlds that are not bound by the limitations of reality. In fact, Newell believes that the games and experiences crafted with this new tech could potentially feel more real than reality, which, you know, isn't terrifying at all.
What the hell? Where am I?
55 years. Not bad, Morty.
Newell said. So the visual experience, the visual fidelity, we'll be able to create. The real world will stop being the metric that we apply to the best possible visual fidelity. The real world will seem flat, colorless, blurry, compared to the experiences you'll be able to create in people's brains. Newell also admitted that there could be more sinister applications for this technology. In theory, users could be made to feel pain, depending on the information being fed to them. Again, not scary as hell in the least, and definitely not something that sounds like an effed up side quest in Cyberpunk 2077. Such an advancement would certainly change the level of immersion in VR tech, but it would also open the door to some major ethical questions. Luckily for gamers, Valve doesn't seem to be interested in exploring that less savory route. Aside from Valve's experimentation with BCIs, Newell also recently revealed to One News that Valve has many new games on the way. Whether or not these future titles will utilize Valve's latest research remains to be seen.